Okay, this is just a quick audio going over the syllabus. Just to kind of give you an overview of the syllabus so you don't waste that time during the lecture time. These are class times, my email, the text, this Occupational Therapy Toolkit, 7th edition. I'll bring that to the first class. We can take a look at it. I highly recommend the book for a lot of reasons. It's essential to the class. You'll find it very useful for the class, I believe, probably more so this year than other years. Trying to really incorporate more in the class of the book into the class. Even more importantly, though, I think it's an incredibly useful tool for your practice. So when you're out there this summer on your level twos, especially if you're in rehab or in home health, you'll find it incredibly useful. It gives you a quick little bit something on just about everything. A lot of great handouts for your patients, simple sheets around exercises and how to do use adaptive equipment and transfers. Everything you can imagine is in this book. Definitely check it out if you're considering it, or look at it online. There is a discount available. That's what you told me, Cheryl, the publisher. If you go to this site here and use this code, I think it's cheaper. How much cheaper than the one for the bookstore, I don't know. But if there's a discount, I would definitely check it out. The other book, OT Stories, my book, you should have that from 300 class last year. If you don't, there's editions available in the library. There's going to be other things you need to purchase for this class. You're going to have to purchase your novel, the book you have to read. I do have one copy, but it's kind of first come serve with that. These movies, like the Gleason movie, if you don't have it, Amazon. I do have a copy of that movie if you want to borrow it. If you have Amazon Prime, I think it's through Prime, you can get that for free. Netflix, if you have Netflix, you can get Crip Camp for free. It's a documentary. If not, you might have to purchase a month's service for that. Bottom line is this class, I don't have these texts that I could require you to use around home health and all this sort of stuff are hundreds of dollars, and I incorporated them into a lot of the material in the class, but I'm not requiring you to read that. So you're really getting a break financially. Could you buy without the toolkit? Yes, you could, but you would be at a disadvantage, especially in terms of your practice. And then there is the movies. There is a way around the movies. So that's that. Course description, the 8 code standards with assignments connected to that, and most of you are not that into that. Moving down, not to make you dizzy, it's the grades, it's the different assignments, the exams. A lot of homework in this class discussions, giving it some weight in the final grade tally, because there is so much of it. It is time intensive. The in-class lab assignments, just kind of showing up, doing what I ask. Home safety assessment, this is very involved. This is due 223, late February. We'll go over that in class. These lab sims are relatively low stakes, but they're very, very important, pretty intense around getting you ready for your level twos over the summer. Assistive technology project, there is a separate audio YouTube on that, I believe, and there's some examples, some other students on that, a lot of stuff on that in Canvas. The book project, pretty straightforward. There's a Canvas thing that describes that. Home health practicum, it's more high stakes practicum. You're going to go out in pairs or sometimes 3 of you do your practicum. This is out on Marshall Road. Talk more about that as we get close to it. And then the second part to your capstone, you're kind of adding your treatment plan to this. This isn't that involved. It's pretty important on getting these capstones done as you move along. We'll talk more about that when it's due later in the semester. A new policy that's come out around classes and assignments. Need to complete all your assignments. You can't just blow it off and take a 0 thinking it's not worth much and you don't want to do it. All these assignments are tied to these standards, which is how we get accredited as an organization, basically. So if you don't do an assignment, you're going to get an incomplete on your transcript. So again, if you don't do all of the assignments, even if you just get a poor grade, if you don't do an assignment, you'll get an incomplete. So you won't be able to progress towards your level 2 fieldwork until you do all the assignments. Assignments are due for class begins generally. They all have different times when they're due. There's 5 points. First day it's 10 points, then it's 5 points for every ensuing day. Exceptions around COVID in terms of the attendance policy, but it's the same. Again, want to look away, make you dizzy, and then going on to the week to week. This is the first week, just the lecture, and the lab are just going to do review, and this is getting into those great resources that tie into the lab with the OT toolkit and stuff around wheelchairs, mobility, and the occupational therapy stories book, my book. And then the week 2, you start getting these assignments. This homework 1, which is do 2-1, around Crip Camp, a lengthy documentary, and then this quick 5-10 minute, maybe or so, TED Talk, really great TED Talk with this young woman in a wheelchair, Stella Young. And then the labs, and then it kind of goes on week to week, lecture and homework. Lectures, as you know, are virtual, they're online, but they're live, they're synchronous. So you have to be there and show up, show your face to get attendance, to count as being attended. Have to get your for your attendance to be there for those. Again, it's just kind of working on week to week, different homework assignments. Starting with week 3, we do these what we call student-led presentations or discussions. They're quick discussions, like 10 minutes, and they're basically just on the story or the homework assignment. So like this first one, that lab 1, Paige and Maya will be doing it on legs, the story, as will Amy and Charlotte, Cody and Will, Ryan, Michael, Sean, depending on when your lab is. So the first day you come in, first 10 minutes, you're going to lead the class in a discussion. I'll do one so you can see how it's done, and there's extensive stuff on how to do this on Canvas, and everybody will have a chance to do that. Start doing the home health practicums. Those are every Friday. If you look on Canvas, you'll see when you're supposed to go. It has everybody's scheduled time. It just goes once for that. First big assignments of them. Safety assessment. And a lot of stuff on Canvas about that. That's due 223. Your device, that's your assistive device. What your idea is, what kind of device you want to make or redesign. Midterm, take part over 2 classes. It's 2 parts to it. One part is, I don't know the time of that. I have the time here, but I don't know the time of that yet. But there's going to be in person. Oh, yes, it will be 10 to noon. In person, that'll be in Peabody. It's on a Friday, so you want to make sure you circle that one. Friday morning, 10 a.m. You'll be doing the midterm exam. 3/12 Friday, 10 a.m. The midterm exam, the exam solve part of it. That's in Peabody. And then during the lab, we're going to do what we're calling a group practicum in lab, and I'll explain that more as we get close to it. It's not those individual super stressful practicums where you go one at a time like we did in 300. You're doing with Katie. We're doing it as a class. You're going to be watching a video and asking me some questions as a pretend patient and putting it together, a treatment plan basically in class. We'll mock this and really have a good idea what that's about before it happens. And kind of more of the same as we kind of go through this. Simulation 4, didn't put in the people yet. Oh, there's homework around the simulations. This is about, I'm going to put in who has to do what homework. It's different for each week. For these sims. The sims, when I mean about the sims, the simulations are, it's the entire lab and you're doing an evaluation. A lot of mobility stuff. People are going to be dependent, have no legs. You're going to be getting them out of bed, moving them into the bathroom, that sort of thing, and doing a complete evaluation. And it will take the full 2 hours to do it. And the people that are the patients are going to be student actors. These are actors coming in, playing these roles of these patients, and you're going to be assessing them. It's very, very close to what you're going to be doing in your rehab settings with summer. So it really prepares you as much as anything. Pulls everything together, and you really have to kind of think on your feet. It's low stakes, but it's kind of intense, and it's a really good experience. Students repeatedly told me this really prepped them, got them ready for their level 2s. And then towards the end, we're doing our group presentations on your assistive tech device, your marketing plan, capstone. Here's all the assignments listed. That is pretty much it.